Well, welcome back my gardening friends. You're just catching me just finishing off my sieving my 3 to 4 year old wood chips, and I'll let you know in a minute what I'm up to. The rest of these chips go on the floor in that pile for now, but great resource and ideal for my homemade seed compost, especially for the beans. Always best to have a good pair of gloves for this job, just to break down those wood chips and then the odd little bit of clumped up soil that the worms bring up. So lots of lovely wood chips, lots of lovely leaf mould, which you've probably seen in a previous video, but cards will go across the top, and one of them will be for the playlist for the trommel, or the actual video, the last video. And last of all, we've got the Bunyards Exhibition Broad Beans, and we've got the field beans there, soaking and chitting away. They've only been in there 24 hours at the moment. Some of the field beans for the green manure, I'm going to let them chit and start growing, then put them in the beds. Terrible problems with mice on my allotment, so we've got to be careful. So let's get this and that mixed together 50-50. I'll show you how I do that. So I'll get my wood chips nicely sieved, and then the same amount of leaf mould. Now, I learnt a lesson last year. I put my new leaf mould into 3 wheelie bins. I got 3 wheelie bins full, and they didn't evaporate. The wood chips didn't get a chance, and the leaf mould to evaporate, and it did congeal a little bit. But just move the stones, which is a nice easy way of mixing without any effort. It's just to keep rolling this, and if it goes onto the wood chips, not bothered. That all helps with the composting process. So I'll give this a good mix. Nice and easy on the back this is. So kitchen rolls in a cardboard copier paper box for the kitchen rolls, and the top of the copier paper box for the toilet roll tubes. Pack them in tightly, and if you do have to cut these, cut the cut pieces at the bottom. Doesn't really matter, but these will go straight into the ground, and I literally fill everything, the sides, so that the moisture goes down the sides as well. And it's surprising how much of this material you go through. So making my own seed compost is ideal, and this is tried and tested. Everything seems to like it okay, so we level it off like that. 1 tap, maybe 2 taps, and then we can place the beans in. I'm not too fussy which way they go. There is a right way. I've chitted them that many times, but I'm not going to bury these. I'm just going to leave them on the top. Make sure that they actually germinate before covering them up. I found some broad beans on plot 1 when I took it over, hashtag starting a new allotment. in series 1, you can see where I found the broad beans, and they were all chitting away on the surface. But these have been just soaked for 24 hours just to help them along a little bit. Now this will be more than enough for me, and half a dozen for a work colleague. There's a few more in there, but that's how they're going to stay. We will just keep them moist, and it's very similar to these. We do get a few weeds, but we can tell the difference between beans and weeds. So the soil and compost has gone down in between as well. That'll help retain the moisture. That hasn't gone down as well, but I can put those field beans in a little bit deeper. I'm going to just take a few off here. I'm going to pick the best, and we're just going to push them in, not fully covering them, and then I'll have to take these home and keep them away from the mice. The polytunnel cover has now come off in the wind, so I can't even put them in there to protect them and give them just a little bit of extra warmth with these extra days now of cold weather we're getting here in the UK. So it's going to be midweek. You'll probably see this on Wednesday, and this is when it's going to start to cool down. I'll finish this one off. I've got this one to do as well, and then the rest I'll let chit, and we'll plant them direct where we're going to have the green manure. Well, that was a good what's name? I've only got that little bit of compost left. Now these are the broad beans from Marie Currie. Go and check her channel out. These are the crimson flowered broad beans that she sent me. I forgot to plant them last autumn, but RoboCrop has been keeping an eye on those for me. So if there's 18 in here, hopefully I've filled enough pots. That was very nice of you, Marie, if you get a chance to watch this. And why not check her channel out? There we go. Both Marie and myself can count. I'm leaving the broad beans on top because they are for a devil for going rotten. And also, if the mice do take them, for whatever reason, then I know that they've actually gone. So I'm going to get these loaded up onto the wheelbarrow once I've emptied the rest of that material out. But yeah, pleased with that. That's another job done. So the field beans, the green manure, are a lot smaller bean to the Bunyards Exhibition. I've had these seeds now for 5 years. I've kept saving the seeds, and just saves you a few pennies. And even if they don't come fully true, at least you get a broad bean. So there are the field beans in the toilet rolls. I've got my Bunyards Exhibition in the kitchen rolls. The reason for the kitchen rolls more than anything else, because the taproot is so long. If you put them into a smaller pot, it doesn't matter about these because they're actually just a green manure. I'm not too worried. But for ones that you want to grow for the harvest, best put into root trainers, and my root trainers are the kitchen rolls. More field beans, and there's Marie Currie's broad beans that she sent me. We'll get these into the greenhouse grow room, safe from the mice. So I've got 4 containers there of wood chips. We've used just over half a container there on that mix, and there's some more leaf mould. We've still got some wood chips in the wheelbarrow, and I think you've seen this before, but anybody that's new to my channel, that's just the wood chips broken down over could be 4 years these, and then all the big bits that haven't rotted down will go back into the bottom of the footpaths to rot down for a few more years. So these are my quadruple pallet bins. They've got fronts that slide off for easy access. This is the cocoa coir that the cannabis growers unscrupulously dump in lay-bys, side of the road, etc. This is the same, but it's got added perlite. Thank you very much, appreciate that. This is my bin where all my homemade compost from this year goes, and I reuse that in my mix again. And then the last pallet bin, which is slightly smaller, the leaf mould that doesn't quite cut it for the seed compost, but it makes a great addition, excellent for moisture content. And I've still got this to put in the bin. Now the bigger chips come here because it's obviously as I put the material in, the fine stuff drops there, which is a lot better than that there. So I've been harvesting that from this part because I'm getting right down in the bin now. I'm not bothering, but we've got numerous containers there that I can use for my seed sowing compost. Hurt a few twigs, chuck them on the floor. There's a bit of debris, bits of plastic litter. That bin's empty now. I've got that last little bit to put through the trommel in one of my next videos, which will cover 2019's leaf collection, which will go into here, so we'll be seeing what that looks like. These are what I call a bit of a reject. It's only a reject because it comes out of there, so I've got to find a way. Now Mr. Robin said to me, he said, why don't you just pile it up all here over the winter and let the frost and us birds break it apart for you. So I don't want to use it in the paths like some people have suggested, but I'm always open for options because I've got those bags there. Those bags are compost. So and this, you see, next year this will probably be what I'll be harvesting, the wood chips off the floor. Lots to do, little time to do it. And in between all those jobs I've been doing other jobs as well. Keeping an eye out for the odd strawberry. I'll take that one home for Mrs. King. Don't tell her, excuse me. Very nice. Are there any more? There's another 8 bags of wood chips that I need to sieve or do something with, because this is where all the leaves will be coming in those 1 ton bags ready to go there once the leaves start to fall. And I've managed to clear that area now, get that covered up, and hopefully get it burnt when we're allowed a fire in October. And those wood chips we've just saw in the bags will go as a mulch here, and as you can see we managed to get some good wood chips, so I've managed to put some in the paths, but with everything overgrowing, especially up the middle, I've left them there. What I didn't want to do is have different wood chips. Nice to have fresh wood chips, and then it blends in nicely, and I've got to get some acacia compost to mulch the blueberries. I did remove the bottom part of the polytunnel just to get it in the municipal bin, but the high winds that we had just whipped it straight off. But never mind, so I've took all the door and all the woodwork out of here. The woodwork's there, most of it's gone rotten now, but it looks like he had the sense to use some decent screws, and we've got the hinges for the next lot of doors. I've got the other hinges somewhere, a couple of little pegs there, and I do believe I've found what he used to stop the polytunnel blowing away. So I think they're those big deep screw things, so got to utilise those when I rebuild it. For those that don't know, I'm going to have a wooden structure 1 metre high. Polytunnel will be lifted up to there, which will give me a lot more height. The main reason is because camera now is at head height for me. You can't walk down the polytunnel, so even walking down there, we've got about a foot clearance, if that. And by the time I put more wood chips in, we'll be bumping ahead. But I've been scraping those wood chips up, and they've been going into some containers so I can pop them back down as a base. And I've been picking the tomatoes as they ripen. My seed saving again. This is the New Zealand spinach, and the seeds are just falling off naturally, and those are actually single seeds. I was quite surprised when I opened the packet. Watch the trap. Anyway, there's a little bit of food for the mice if they decide to want to take those seeds away. I've bought them outside just for reference, but I've collected quite a few. The carrots I sowed after we had trouble with the motley dwarf virus. That they've done quite well. I've cleared this bed out. These had poor germination again, so these were sown before those, but poor germination. I'm going to prepare this now for my elephant garlic. I probably won't show you planting that, but I shall prepare the bed and get it in very soon. If you've liked the content of this video, please consider subscribing. Please leave me a comment, because I learn from the comments. I know nothing about gardening. I do really, but it's the comments that help me be the person I am, and then I'm able to share them with all my viewers. And thank you to everyone who watches all my old videos and then come aboard and left me a comment. Happy gardening to you all, my friends. Till next time. Ta for now. Please check out the Mars Hydro LED light links below, and my Mars Hydro reviews.